Hail, bird of prey. 5. Hail, Karuga.
Qapla!
Qapla.
I'm going to take this opportunity, however, to suggest that we all hail Karuga. That's all I'm saying.
Forgive me, Doctor. I'm receiving a number of distress calls. I don't doubt it.
Y'all remember to tip your waitresses. Have a mighty fine night.
If you come in peace, surrender or be destroyed. If you're here to make war, we surrender.
Both good. The important thing is I'm meeting new people.
When the appointed hour arrives, the Marauders will deactivate their cloaking devices and begin transporting Klingon shock troops directly to the landing zone.
Landing zone? Where? Tell me.
Why not? Your feeble weapons will be useless against us. We will kill all your males and take your females to mate with.
All right. Now the Federation's taking over, whether you like it or not. You people, you've been running this planet like a piecework factory. From now on, it's gonna be under one roof. You're gonna run it like a business. And that means you're gonna make a profit.
Look at these 3 words written larger than the rest, with a special pride never written before or since. Tall words, proudly saying, "We the people."
Hi, I'm Nicole DeBoer. I played Lieutenant Ezri Dax on DS9, and I welcome you to Bird O' Prey 5 channel. Hail Karoga.
Hello world, it's Bird O' Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome back to Bed Life for June 3rd, 2024. It is a Monday. June 3rd, 2024. 24 years after Y2K. Wow. A lifetime. 2 lifetimes ago. Indeed. Hakeem, first in the chat, and says, Qapla, Bird O' Prey 5, how do you like your eggs? Because it is National Egg Day on this Monday, June 3rd. So, Qapla Hakeem, we'll get into how I take my eggs as we get to a little bit on National Egg Day. Suffice to say, I do not take them like LDG does, as he likes scrambled egg omelets, which I don't even think they exist, but whatever. Sci-Fi Sith Dan, Qapla Sci-Fi Sith Dan, says Qapla Bird O' Prey 5. Richie Poole with 3 alpacas, because he's 3rd in the chat. Welcome, Richie. And John Araki says, Birtle juice. Well, I'm suffice to say, I have some bad news for anybody who's been playing Birtle. I have yet to update the words. So if you've been playing Birtle, you're getting the same words as original Wordle for the time being. I just got busy here as we're working hard on getting my personal assistant set up, and it's taking a lot of time. So didn't have the free time I was hoping to have these last few weeks, even though, knocking wood, I'm not feeling that bad, although I could feel better, of course. We've just been very busy here, and we'll probably continue to be very busy for the foreseeable future. DJ Play Nice says, "Wee!" Welcome, DJ Play Nice. And John Araki with an 11-month friend of Karoga membership chat says hashtag Mamo Pray 2024. Absolutely. You know, looking at what's going to be going on in politics for the rest of this year, Mamo Pray 2024 sounds like a plan. Hashtag. Just write it in. Write it in. Any place you need a candidate, just write in Mamo Pray 2024. I'm sure she won't mind. Oh, she's plenty busy, that's true. Nothing that'll take her too far from Charlie. You really want to write in Charlie, and then he'll pick Mamo Pray to be his assistant. It was funny because he was here this weekend, and he told Ciso Pray to leave. He says, "Leave. I want Mamo Pray." Yeah, he said, "I want Grandma," but yeah, basically, it's okay, Mommy. You can leave. I want Grandma. And then she said, "No, but we can both be here." And then he got upset. He's like, "No, you leave." And she did. No, I'm kidding. She went to a party. She went to a party and left him with us. And, anyway, John Araki with a 99-cent super poop super sticker. Thank you, my friend. It goes well. It goes well today. John Araki says hashtag Steelbird's garbage. Yeah, there's gonna be more garbage leaving the house this summer, hopefully. So if anyone's interested, keep an eye out. We'll see some prize stuff in the trash. DJ Play Nice says hello to Hakeem, Sci-Fi Sith Dan, Richie Poole, and John Araki. And DJ Play Nice with a 5-month Rogan Orphan membership chat says rock. Indeed, rock. DJ. Jedi Bill says Qapla, Brother Warrior, Birdo Pray 5. All should hail Karoga. Absolutely, Jedi Bill. Thank you. Mike Richards says greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Miss Londell's Groovy Movies says Qapla, Miss Londell. Yvette says good evening, Bird, and everyone. Good evening to the lovely Yvette. Richie Poole says early. Oh, pray 5. Did I start a couple seconds early? That's perhaps I did. Certainly not that early. A minute at most. The lovely Sherry is in the house. Hello, the lovely Sherry. Sci-Fi Sith Dan says hello there to DJ Play Nice. Mike Richards' tall words, proudly saying every fucking time. There's the updated Constitution. Every fucking time. Oiler Greg, hello everyone. Qapla. Euler Greg, it is good to see you. It's been a long time. LDG says bird time. Welcome, LDG. Euler Greg is putting in cheers. Cheers indeed. Jim's Landscape LLC, Commodore Boone, Commodore Productions says hello to Bird and LDG. Qapla, Jim. LDG says scrambled omelet. There he is. We knew he was going to talk about scrambled omelets. Miss Lodell's National Egg Day. Does that include scrambled egg omelets? Yeah, if you're those of us who spend our time in the underground, we know you can't get past an egg discussion without scrambled egg omelets. Melted Copper says, happy Monday. God bless Bird. Oh, thank you, Melted Copper. And the Random Menace with a 44-month. Holy shit. 44 months. That's not quite as old as Nephew O'Prey, but it's close. Greetings from the future. My apologies. I am not here every bed life. I am watching the recordings, but today you have my attention. It is awesome to know that you are watching the recordings, Joseph. I do miss you, but I know you're never that far away. You and Mom O'Prey and Professor Brainy Specs still have your Wordle groups, and I keep an eye. I keep an eye on you that way. Mom O'Prey got Bertle in 2 today with no help. Yvette says, hey, Mike, you escaped Roxy? I'm not sure what that is. Captain Phantom Nerd says, hello, Captain. Hope you're doing well. Arabic Saunders says, Jolan True. Jolan True. Arabic, live long and prosper. And Arabic says, hey to Yvette. Jedi Bill with a $2 super chat. How did I miss this? Says, did you catch Insomniac Soup this morning? I did. I did indeed. I was at the soup. I watched it for a little bit last night. When I went back to it this morning, even though it had been called, it was still called Insomniac Soup. You guys were doing karaoke. It had become a karaoke stream when it was like 3 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m. my time. When I went back to check on it, it's had the Insomniac Soup logo, but it was karaoke. So I moved on. At 3 and 4 a.m. I listen to the soup, but I can't. If I keep karaoke, then I wouldn't get to sleep. Mike Richards says to Yvette, nobody's found the body yet. Arabic is hailing Sci-Fi Sith Dan. Yvette's laughing. Hakeem says, when I have the time, I like to make my eggs in an amorous style. It's like an omelet filled with rice and meat and ketchup on top. I tell you, I'm all for mixing of eggs and rice. I think it is a delicious mix of eggs and rice. Ketchup on tops, that's good. As for meat, I mean, if it's like bacon or breakfast sausage, maybe spam, I could see that. I guess. Hmm. I'm just saying, I could see it. I don't know that I'd eat it, but I could see it. Euler Greg says vote giant spider in 24. He promises to not to put the bite on you.
And then I'm going to make my egg.
Mama is going to make her eggs. She hardly ever eats eggs, but for National Egg Day, you'll make an exception. Yes, Mama Prey likes to make peppers and eggs, which is the one way I don't eat eggs, because I don't eat peppers. Miss Lodell says, Akeem, that sounds tasty. Might have to try it tomorrow morning. Captain Fandom Nerd says, hashtag hail on Karoga. What? Why, Captain? Why, Captain? What have I done? Hakeem says to Miss Lodell, it's so good and you can customize any way you want. Darth Maul says Qapla world is SOB5. Lol, good afternoon, bird. How's the family? Family's doing okay, Darth Maul. At least that's what I'm going to tell you guys. Arabic Sanda says National Egg Day. Great. I was already planning on having fried eggs, toast, and corned beef hash for dinner. Oh, that does sound delicious. Mike Richards turned 67 yesterday and would be honored to hear the God Emperor's beautiful singing voice. Oh, you turned 67. Happy birthday to Mike Richards from Columbus, Ohio. Okay, well, Mama Pray would certainly be singing right next to me, Mike Richards, if she was in the house right now. But she is not. She's got Sassy outside. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mike Richards. Happy birthday to you. And many, many more. Yay! And I hope you can hear that clapping, although I realize that the microphone might be cutting the clapping out, but I swear to you, I was clapping my hands quite hard. Hopefully, you could hear it all the way there in Columbus, Ohio. And Yvette, with a £2 sterling super chat, says, we really need kissing Dax. Indeed, a kissing Dax for Mike Richards on his birthday. Mom O'Prey, yesterday was Mike Richards' birthday. So we sung. He turned 67 yesterday.
A youngster.
A youngster indeed.
Well, to me, yes. But happy birthday. And many, many more.
I wished him
yes.
many more, as I was sure you would wish him the same.
Yes. I myself are aiming at 130.
130.
Yes. Used to be 103, but as I get closer, I'm going to 130 now.
It's fair. That's a fair number.
Okay.
and still well below Star Trek. Right.
I don't know how old.
In
Don't
the
tell me
first,
Discovery, because I don't.
no.
Okay.
Although I have some news on that. No, the first episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation, Dr. McCoy was still alive.
Right.
When he was on the ship.
Yes.
He was 157 or something.
I don't remember, but yeah. Okay.
It was a crazy number.
I'll go for that.
Yeah.
But no Botox or any kind of.
No
Botox or any kind of. I am what I am.
That's fair.
Everybody have a good day. I'm going to make my eggs now.
Okay. Like those peppers and eggs. Brenda Menace says to Mike Richards, many, many more. Yvette says, happy birthday, Mike. Mike Richards says, thanks. The King, Qapla the King, says, Qapla Birdo pray. I'm on the water right now. It's so serene. Awesome. Awesome. Jedi Bill says, no, we only sang a few songs. It was not a karaoke. Well, when I tuned in, Bill, there was karaoke going on. I didn't stay for long. I only stayed for a minute and I turned it off. I just, I got lucky, I guess. Kyle Cullen is live long and prosper. Kyle Cullen, Qapla. And Yvette, why hasn't we have not got anything. Yvette's super chat has not yet registered. Hopefully it will soon. Darth Maul says that singing was just like Marilyn Monroe. Jedi Bill says I didn't get a clip for my chat. Yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting for them. Yvette says no, Bill. Mike Richards says thanks, Bird. Mamo Frey. Love you guys. We love you. We love you. Yeah. Jedi's bills didn't come through either. It's just one of those things, guys. It's just one of those things. The alerts, I think the alerts were paused. You know, we got to refresh the page. Well, I don't know what happened, but I can replay some of the old ones.
It's a fake.
I'll replay some old super chats. And see, there we go. There we go. Some kiss and dax. I'll try one more. That doesn't count.
Captain's log, stardate 7414.1. Our best estimates place us some 4 hours from Earth.
Okay. And one more.
Captain's log, stardate 7414.1.
Yeah.
Our best estimates place us some 4 hours from Earth.
Okay, well.
Scanning. Indications negative at this time.
Okay, well, there we go. We did get a kissing back. And it should work again now. I don't know how they got paused. Beyond me. Carlo Albanese says, hi, hope everyone is as well as can be. Hail, Caroga. Hail, Carlo. Yvette says, hashtag kissing Dax. Oh, we got one. Carlo says, I don't see no pointed ears on you. That's right. That was the scene of McCoy, DeForest Kelly on TNG. Data was sounding like Spock, but I didn't see any pointed ears on him. It's each iteration of Trek had their Spock, of course. Their Spock was their character who was trying to be human. And it's weird that it's not, I guess, not that weird, but it's a little weird that every good Trek has had their Spock, right? Every good Trek had their Spock, right? You had, obviously, TOS had Spock. TNG had Data. DS9 had Odo. Voyager had the Doctor. And later, arguably, 7, but definitely the Doctor. And then that was it. I mean, Enterprise still was decent Trek, but T'Pol wasn't ever trying to be human. T'Pol was just trying to remain Vulcan.
That'd be not for us.
And then, Discovery, no. Michael Burnham, she was human. And then like they forgot that she grew up Vulcan. After one season, she was human again. That was it. Yeah, and then of course, Lower Decks, nothing like that in Lower Decks. Strange New Worlds, no, not really. And Prodigy, you could arguably say they were all trying to become human. They were all trying to become Starfleet, but they didn't know. They just had a hologram to teach them. Carlo Albanese puts out a hug to Mamo Prey. The king says rowing is quite the good exercise. Yvette is trying to get the clip, but no clip at all. Words and pictures is Qapla, Berto Prey 5. Good to hear you. Good to be here. Good to have you, words and pictures. Hemorrhoids Hurts says, did I miss Kissing Dax? I think you might have seen Kissing Dax. I think you might have seen it. Carlos says, I bet Bird turned off the super chats. So kissing Dax for all. I did apparently accidentally pause the super chats. So I made up for it. You guys got to see it. Captain Phantom Nerd says hello to Words and Pictures. Words and Pictures says hello, Cap. John Araki, hashtag cancel Hillrom. Indeed. And Crow Nurse, hashtag Crow Nurse. If only Kronos lived a little closer. If only Kronos lived a little closer. Now is the time we could use Crow Nurse. The lovely Sherry, if you're interested, hit me up. Or anyone else nearby who wants to have some hours a week. You need, you would like to take care of a god emperor. You put that on your resume.
And
Who knows?
they only have to pay you $20 an hour.
They don't have to pay me. We pay them. It's not we, but they get paid. They get paid. We don't. No, I mean, they can if they want. They can tip me, I guess. But generally, the money flows the other direction. Jedi Bill says you missed the science talk, Bird of Prey. We talked about the universe and alien life. Well, I did miss it then, Bill. I missed that. That would have been a nice part to have been awake for. John Araki says hashtag bird fights. I don't want to fight anybody. Hemorrhoids hurts with a Australian said oi with an Australian super chat says more Dax please, especially the kissing Dax. Oi, okay. Wait, did it not come up either? The super chat problem was probably Turtostani sabotage. Why has it not popped up again? Okay, I had it. It literally was paused, but it's no longer paused. Why is there no? Why did it not pop up? I am very confused. Let's see.
Scanning. Indications negative at this time.
That is not kissing Dax. What about this one? No.
Scanning. Indications negative at this time.
Hemorrhoid hurts. I don't know. I broke it. I know, Carlo. The problem is it shows up. It shows up for membership chats, but not for super chats. Hemorrhoid hurts. I will force a kissing Dax because that was a very generous super chat by Hemorrhoids Hurts. Oh yeah, watch that. Look at that. That is solid acting. This is episode Rejoiced, where Terry Farrell shows how hard, how sincere she is incredibly sincere in showing the love of a symbiont for another symbiont, and how the shell of the body that it's in means nothing. Carlo Albanese says, damn Turdistani time travelers from before Turdistan fell. Arabic Saunders says, Spock wasn't trying to be human, though. He was trying to suppress his humanity. That's true. He was trying to live with the balance. Carlo says it wasn't even the same Vulcan back in Enterprise. Well, not till the end. That's true. Yeah. Carlo says Spock knew the dangers. Letting his human emotions out could lead to him losing control of his Vulcan emotions. John Araki says, why do we have a 1 in 34 chance of kissing Dak, but a 34 out of 34 chance of a felony where birds live? Of a felony where birds live. John Araki is saying hashtag rigged. Mike Richards says send Kuroger's recruitment team 6 to fetch Kronos. Yeah. Hemingway Turr says no problem, Bird. It was still a treat to see all these. Thank you, Hemingway Turr. Yvette says woohoo. Miss Londell says they both really got into the kissing Dak scene, didn't they? They really did. They were both. Mike Richards says, yes, Emmy award-winning acting. Well, I'll tell you, I brought it up. I talked about this last time. The Decon Chamber podcast is the new podcast that has actors Dominic Keating and Connor Trenier. That's Malcolm and Trip from Star Trek Enterprise. They previously were on a show called the Shuttle Pod Show. This is basically the same thing, but they're previously the Shuttle Pod Show was with a producer named Mark, and a host named Erica, who was Mark's girlfriend or wife, something like that. They lived together. Unfortunately, they kind of they had a falling out of some sort. The details are not particularly public, but Dominic and Connor decided they wanted to continue doing the show, but not with Mark. So they went on a Star Trek cruise, and they decided while on the cruise they were leaving the old podcast, and they started their new one after they got back. and so they now have the decon chamber. They've had 3 episodes so far. The first episode, episode 1, was William Shatner. So they started with the big guns. I'll be honest though, it was a pretty boring hour. It was 1 hour to almost to the second, and they talked about horses and stuff, and Shatner was, let's say, showing a bit of showing his age, and he also didn't talk about, there was virtually zero Star Trek talk at all. So I'll be honest, it was a big letdown. For me, it was a giant letdown. I was like, why? What was, I don't know. Anyway, then the second interview they did was Terry Farrell, who was Jadzia Dax. It was Kissing Dax. And that was a longer episode. It was an hour, almost an hour, 20 minutes. But it felt like it went much quicker. Because they did talk about some Star Trek. We get yet another story as to what was going on when she was killed off in season 6. This time, we're told that it was her decision not to renew her contract. I don't know. Something, every time I hear I hear her talk, there's something else. Some other reason is brought up for why she didn't come back for season 7. But it was a lot. Anyway, it was much more interesting than Shatner's, to be completely honest. And then there was also a third episode that came out just the other night, where it's just their agent basically interviewing each of them. So it's more about Trip and Reed, well, the actors, Dominic and Connor, talking about their lives and their work on the show, their work on the old show, and then their work on the current show. And, it's interesting. But I'll tell you what was one eye-opening part was they asked each of them what was their favorite Star Trek show, and they can't other than Enterprise. And Trip, Connor Trenier, he said no doubt his favorite is Deep Space Nine. And for all the reasons I would agree with, I think most DS9 fans would agree with, he was like He felt that that was by far the best previous track. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then he got to Dominic. And I asked, well, what's yours favorite? And what do you think he said? Really like that Discovery. I really like that Discovery. And he goes, yeah, there. He's like, really, this especially this fifth season. Especially this fifth season. He's like, yeah, they're going on all cylinders now. Oh, no, stop talking. You're ruining it all. I was here. I was ready to keep his fucking Patreon membership is $10 a month. But that was what I was paying on the other show anyway. And you get a lot of behind the scenes access. Presumably it'll be the same. You get a Discord access. The thing is, Mark, who was the problem, the reason they left. Mark was a very busy behind the scenes guy, and he was doing a really good job of keeping up with people and yeah, even though they didn't have every freebie they claimed to have available, the important stuff was there. To be honest, I don't see them having, without somebody like Mark, who was, Mark, listen, Mark may or may not have had issues, but he knew his Star Trek. Exactly, Mama Fred. He knew his Star Trek. They would do every week, they would do a Star Trek trivia game where he would play the guests. The guests would all get to work together with the host, and they would all be it'd be like 6 people versus Mark, and Mark would win almost every time. He knew his stuff. I invited him a couple of times to Jep Nerdy, but he never made it. It would have been interesting. But anyway, unfortunately, on this new show, I don't see them having anybody like Mark, and I don't know if you guys do go and become a Patreon, good luck. I have not yet decided to do that. And after hearing Dominic Keating say how much he loves Discovery, and it would be his hope that he can bring in, because they realized that they went through almost everyone who's still alive and who's willing to do a podcast has pretty much already been done. So in an attempt to bring new blood up, they're trying to find real life, like scientists, astronauts, and people, and talk about, well, how did Star Trek affect them and whatnot, rather than bringing up other there's not a whole lot of people remaining to bring up. However, Dominic is like, oh, we've got tons of people from all the new shows that we could be bringing up. And I'm like, oh no, I don't want my money going to bring up, Mary Wiseman. I mean, maybe Tilly, but like that's it. I don't want to have Detmer or Owo or Reese or all the fucking people I don't know their names at all. Like, oh, you play the fucking lizard that blows his nose on people and then they die. Or you play the guy who died after after Michael Burnham said that you were too stupid to fly. What did you think? Well, like I don't want to deal. I don't want to see these people. Jedi Bill with a $4 super chat, and it didn't pop up. Oh, I'm so sorry, Bill. Ah, fuck. I was trying to make the soup a variety stream. That's very cool, Bill. That is very cool. Um, uh, sorry, Miss Lindell says they both got into. I read that already. They both really got into kissing Dax. Mike Richards says that was Emmy award winning acting. Carl Albanese says all I need is a tall ship and a star to steer her by. Yep, that was Star Trek 5. Yvette says Carlo plus kissing Dax. X. And Jedi Bill's $4 super chat. Trying to make the soup a variety stream. Why is this not working? Okay, shift and reload. Maybe now that it's reloaded, maybe it'll work. Hakeem says, I wonder how many takes did it take to get that scene perfected? Perfect. Actually, they talked about that. They talked about that scene. Avery Brooks apparently was directing, directed, rejoined, and they did only one scene. And they did only one scene because they wanted to force them to use what they had and not back down to make it less passion. So supposedly it was like a little, it was kind of planned. Like they're going to make it as passionate as they could, do it in one take, and that's why editing wouldn't have the option to edit it down. I don't know if that's true. I can tell. I've seen that the truth tends to change depending on who is doing the interview, especially years and decades later. But it makes sense. It's possible. Carl Albanese says, I don't get kisses, only hugs. Oh, I'm sorry, Carlo. Jedi Bill says, I'll cancel the soup. You don't need to cancel the soup, Bill. I would have been there. Just if it's the soup, it needs to be the soup. Miss Lundell says she was way too hot to be his girlfriend. WTF. I know. I don't know. He must, he must be packing. He must be packing something nice. Good for him. Good for him. Carlo says, I need more time in the day. I'm sorry I missed the soup. Question for Terry. What did it feel like with that slug inside you all the time when you were on set? Yeah, that's a good question. Darth Maul says the season 6 story has changed more times than a Hollywood actress personality from one to the other. And just so you know, Mom, Eddie said he did it. He did the blood test. Results in 3 to 5 days, they say. He goes back on Thursday afternoon to see if the results are back. And yes, they charged $225.
Okay. All right.
I'll write back later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Don't cancel the soup bill. Blame it on Bossa Nova, said Mike Richards. Oh, it's a song? JP says it's because DS9 is so much like Babylon 5. Lol. Kyle Collins laughing. Carlo Albanese says, For the Uniform is my favorite DS9 episode. I think the final change for Cisco to become the hero the Federation needed. Yvette says hey to JP, says hey back. Mike Richards' discovery is hazardous to your mental health. It is, absolutely. Darth Maul says, I miss Erica LaRose. She was one of the best parts. Well, she was Mark's girlfriend, or they lived together. They still do, and at best we can tell. And she is a lovely woman. Nothing, and I have not heard anybody even claim or say anything against Erica. Just there are people who have issues with Mark, but I have not heard anybody have anything but nice things to say about Erica. JP says, yeah, let's see a naked, oiled up Tilly. Oh, God. Melted Copper says, considering the decay of theaters and using old stuff, Star Trek's next gasp is going to be the next generation film. Time needs to repeat. I highly doubt there would be another next gen. They've literally ended Next Generation 3 times already. They ended it in All Good Things. They had Nemesis, where the crew was all leaving. So that was an end. That was the end of the movies. And then they ended it a third time in season 3 of Picard. Everybody came back and everybody left for a third time. So I can't imagine there being any room left for any more next gen. Uh, the actors are too old. The actors are too old. Honestly, the whole point of the JJ movies was that they were rebooting it with younger actors so they could do more movies. They still have time, but they have to be, unfortunately, Chekhov, the actor who played Chekhov, died. So yeah, that would have had to have been somebody either recast or a replacement for Chekhov. I mean, you could deal with it somehow. Mama pray.
Yeah.
Pull the hose. But yeah, so at this point in Star Trek, you either got to get a new crew or use younger recast actors for a movie. And Discovery, I'm sorry, nobody in Discovery is going to be able to lead a movie. There's no movie for Discovery. Maybe Strange New Worlds. Maybe you could get Captain Pike and that crew in a movie, but I wouldn't watch it. I certainly wouldn't. Obviously, I'm not running to a theater, regardless. But I certainly wouldn't run to a theater,
You could.
even if I could run. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Stanley says my favorite is the robot lady. Oh, the robot lady. Yes. That died in Discovery. Darth Maul says Skydance is buying Paramount. It's likely that new track shows will get them views for these interviews. Stanley says, I loved the what's her name. I loved what's her name. Carlo says, what about Strange New Worlds cast or Lower Decks? Okay, I mean, to be honest, I hate Strange New Worlds. I mean, would I listen to Ethan Peck or Rebecca Romaine or Pike himself? Sure. I mean, I'd listen to them talk, but I really don't give a shit. That's the thing. I don't care. I mean, yeah, they're Star Trek, but in name only. I don't care. I don't care anything about these people. Right? If I care about everybody on Deep Space Nine. Even if they had the actor who played fucking Morn, I would listen for hours. I'm sure that guy has stories to tell. And I'm interested. I am legit interested in whatever he has to say. Now, let's compare that to, say, the Doctor on Strange New Worlds. The Doctor on Strange New Worlds has speaking parts. He's a big deal. He's done some tons of episodes. He's fought and he's killed, and he's had his daughter, and his daughter was in a fucking transporter for fucking 15 years or whatever. And then he gave her away to a fucking passing alien who swore he could cure her. I mean, the Doctor on Strange New Worlds has a hell of a story. And I don't give a fucking flying shit about any of it, because he's a fucking shitty show, a shitty doctor, and a shitty father.
Excuse me? Oh, Latoya, I'm sorry. How are you?
It was the only way to heat up the rocks, says Carlo. The Random Menace says, I would like to know whose idea was it to have built-in flamethrowers on Discovery's bridge. Yeah, that's once the phaser hits the ship, you get fire coming out the bridge. Now the difference is, in all honesty, Random Menace, even in TOS times, they take a phaser to the nacelle, and rocks explode on the bridge.
Okay.
Carlo Albanese says it was the only way to heat up the rock. Yvette says, Joseph, I would guess it was an emergency measure in case there was a good actor. Carlo was laughing. Carlo says, question, is it true Voyager had 4 episodes cut from the first season before they started filming? Maybe. I don't know. Darth Maul says, naked oiled up Tilly sounds like fun. Miss Lundell's Ruby Movie says, naked Tilly is like a mop. It's like a moped. Fun to ride until you get caught. Ouch. Arabic Sonda says, I think he meant they're trying to do a TNG reboot with new actors, which sounds like a bad idea to me. Oh, well, a TNG reboot, I mean, let's put it away. That's probably the safest. That's probably the safest thing they could do. But you know what a TNG reboot looks like to me? It looked like the Orville. The Orville was a TNG reboot. And honestly, it worked. It worked. Darth Maul says Major Grin has been savage on these STD reviews. Yeah, he has. Carlo Albanese says if they are to make any other Star Trek, they should do it in the same time of the reality time, trying to sort out the timeline, skipping from Disco to DS9 to end on first contact to fix the time fracture. I just think if they go forward, it needs to be a new timeline, a completely new timeline. It'll have the names we're familiar with. Okay, it'll have Captain Kirk, Captain Picard, and things like that. But you know, it's a new timeline and things will be a little different. Just, you know, it's a separate and apart. You know, it might not have been good for schools in the 1960s, but it's perfect for Star Trek in the 2020s. Separate but equal. Separate but equal. Carlo says the time factor. Yeah. Darth Maul says, I think they're going to reboot the whole thing with Skydance when Skydance takes control. Carlo Albanese says, and the last scene is Kirk, TOS Kirk, real Kirk, won the bridge of the TOS Enterprise, showing that everything happened, and now it's back at the beginning of a time loop. Arabic Sonder says, Morn wouldn't talk, he would just nod. But that's the thing, Arabic Sonder. Morn used to talk all the time in Deep Space Nine. We would just see him nod from time to time. Arabic Sonder says, did they ever do Jeffrey Combs? That's a good one. I don't think they did. I don't think they did. Random Menace knows that Morn never shuts up. Carlo Albanese says they were expanding safety foam, not rocks. They absorb the energy, baby. Darth Maul says reboot TNG. Those are some lazy mother lovers to do that. Carl Albanese says the Enterprise D with gaping hole is the primary hull. Or gaping hole in the primary hull. Carlos says relatively, not reality. Sorry. No worries. Stanley says Vertebrae 5. Could they flip the script, make the Romulans the main characters? They could, but they won't. Stanley says based on a warbird. Oh, flip the script, make the Romulans the main characters based on a warbird. No, they would never. It'd be too expensive. Every character to have to go through makeup, and it would complicate things, take too long, be too expensive. 47 Yorktown says, hello, young sir. Hello, 47. Stan Lee says, we're a Kling-Orc-centric show on a bird of prey. I would really doubt that they would ever do a Vulcan or a Romulan or Klingon-centric show because it's just too expensive for too much makeup and too much time. Mr. Lindell's Groovy Movies thinks the Skydance thing fell through. And Free the Net, LDG, Free the Net with a $2 super chat that again doesn't seem to have come through. Says, Bird, do you mean to keep the YouTube window open? Bird, do you mean? Yeah, I noticed it was open for a while. I didn't really care, I guess. Darth Maul says the incursion into the classic track timeline happened in Picard #2, season 2. It caused Hover Star to blow, causing JJ track and the disco timeline. Borg Girardi is studying that anomaly. close it, and restore the timeline. Um, I whatever. I don't know if you can. Let's put it this way. If there's no reason, as far as I'm concerned, the Romulan star never blew up. Okay? Because the the you know, Nemesis was as late as we got into the timeline. Before there was nothing after Nemesis, as far as I know. Like that was the last of the old track, original track timeline. After that, for the JJ series, they claimed that the Romulan sun blew up sometime in the future and created the JJ time. But I don't care. It doesn't actually happen. It doesn't happen on screen in our timeline. So I don't care. And Stanley's is just spitballing with timelines they've already gone before. TOS after TNG. Where else can they go? And Darth Maul says, I'm using canon to help restore sanity narratively. I don't think it needs to be restored. I think I'm perfectly happy with where things are at the end of Star Trek Nemesis. We turn the clocks back literally to where things were at the end of Nemesis, and we go back to that. Everything that's happened since just didn't happen, or it happened in a different timeline. With Discovery, we say Discovery was a new timeline, unrelated, completely unrelated to the ones before it. And, we'll call the Discovery verse or whatever. And everything that's been part of the Discovery reboot, everything that's been done since then, whether it's been Discovery, Picard, or Strange New Worlds, that they're all in the Discovery verse. Lower Decks is not, but Lower Decks isn't canon. Lower Decks can just be a cartoon that's made to make fun of real TOS and real TNG, and it does a solid job of making fun of it, but it's never supposed to be canon. So we don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about Lower Decks being canon. Lower Decks can just be Lower Decks. Qapla, Jeff B. Miss Lindell says the Romulan star blowing up started with the Star Trek 2009 movie. Yes. Yeah. And then in the 2009 universe, they destroy Vulcan. But Vulcan is not destroyed in the real timeline. It's only in the JJ timeline. Darth Maul says Lower Decks is canon adjacent. Yeah, I'll go with that. It's canon adjacent. No. Let's bring up. Today is National Egg Day. Mama Prey made her delicious smelling peppers and eggs a while ago. I am quite hungry now, but okay. Yeah, make some pasta. That'd be good. Thank you, Mama Prey. It is Chimborazo Day, a day for celebrating the highest point on Earth. That's Chimborazo Day for you. I thought Mount Everest was the highest place on Earth. But this is not Mount Everest. It's Columbia Corpus Christi holiday, a day to celebrate the body of Christ. These people do not look like they're celebrating the body of Christ. Maybe they are. Bread and wine. It's the European Bicycle Day. Non-motorized transport is more important than we think to achieve sustainable development. I was watching Nephew O'Prey work off all the energy that he has. And I was thinking that we should have some type of device, like a hamster wheel for children, that we could put kids in and just soak up that energy into some type of battery and then put it onto the electric grid. And we should be able to run our electric meters backwards. And it's a win. It's a win for everybody. It's a win for the kids because they get to do something and put all their energy to something worthwhile. And it's a win for me because I get a break on my energy. And it's a win for the whales because, less global warming. So win, win, win. I just need to
figure out how to work.
How to put Nephew O'Prey in a hamster wheel and convert that to power.
I'm laughing at you, son.
You're laughing at me, but you know it's
Wait.
real.
No, what he does that you can't see because he doesn't do it in here. He's got this step stool. It's got 2 steps to use the toilet, and it's got, what do you call these things? Handrails.
Yeah.
Okay, and he takes it and he just runs on it, up and down, up and down, up and down, kind of like what you.
Yeah, no, it's.
Yeah.
I watched him jump up and down off the.
Yeah.
The little couch, just over and over and over and over again, and I'm thinking so much energy is being wasted. We could collect that energy, we could save it, we could use it to power home.
Or against that, like child labor or something.
Child labor. He wants to do this. Of course the miners want to mine. They're orphans. They have nothing else to do. Nah. Mike Richards is Nemesis? Nemesis is movie forbidden. Miss Lindell says cannon, a big brassy thing that goes boom. Darth Maul says champa matro is a Mexican food. Darth Maul says, oh, European bicycle holiday. I thought you said European bisexual day. Miss Lindell says you want to matrix your nephew. Well, yes, I do. I do. Mike Richards is a Carogan power plant. Orphans on hamster wheels. Hey, I didn't think about using orphans. I just was going to use the over-energized children. H.M. Queen's birthday. Join the celebrations. We honor the Queen Shudia on H.M. Queen's birthday. What queen is that? It's not the Queen of England. Insect Repellent Awareness Day. Rid your environment of pests and disease by observing Insect Repellent Awareness Day. Isabel Province Day. The Isabel Province Day. Take some time to learn about the province. No. It's a June bank holiday. Summer is in the air, and you have a full day to celebrate on this national holiday in the UK. Love conquers all day. We love and on love conquers all day. We can't get enough of it. Love gives us the strength and the hope to conquer all challenges of life. It's Mabo Day. Celebrate the historic event that revolutionized land rights for the indigenous Australian communities. Oi, it was Mabo Day. I remember it well. The dingoes were giving back the babies. Very suspect. Martyrs Day in Uganda. National Chocolate Macaroon Day. It's chocolate macaroon. All the dessert lovers in America celebrate National Chocolate Macaroon Day on June 3rd. I would venture to guess that is not true. Oh, no. National Simp Day. Let's spread the word that the term simp isn't as harmless as many people believe. Wait, is it harmless or is it not harmless? If it's not harmless, then why are you calling it National Simp Day? What the fuck? National Simp Day is celebrated on June 3rd every year. It's an important day that aims to break the stigma currently surrounding the term simp. For instance, many men are called simps when they show sympathy towards another person. The term is derogatory since it implies that the man wants to sleep with a particular woman. Women, on the other hand, are called simps when they go all out for a man and their love is not reciprocated. The different meanings it holds based on gender are misogynistic and end up forming a negative opinions. This is why it's essential to celebrate National Simp Day and put an end to the judgments we are often surrounded with. History of National Simp Day. The definition of the word simp has evolved over the years and has held different meanings in every century. The term was formed in 1985 by U.S. rapper Too Short, who used it in his 1985 hit Pimpology. In the 1980s, it was a word used to describe someone as overly sympathetic. The term was also used to describe simpletons, people who are considered stupid. However, with globalization and the emergence of numerous social media platforms, the meaning of the word changed. It now stands for a person who provides extra attention to someone in return for sex. Adversely, Urban Dictionary defines a simp as someone who does way too much for a person they like. The dictionary listed the word in 2005, known as simping, the one-sided infatuation with someone can be carried out for celebrities, politicians, social media influencers, etc. In 2010, simp continued to be used by rappers as a derogatory word, those goddamn rappers. The term reached its peak popularity when it started to widely appear in TikTok in 2019. It was then frequently used on Twitch and Twitter. Since the term now stands for a negative way of showing love, the need arose to spread knowledge regarding the real meaning of the term. The real meaning. The day was originally formed by John of the Forest, a Twitch streamer, video gamer, and musician. He also recognized for his simpcore songs, a subgenre of pop. Every year, he releases a simcore track to highlight the importance of the day. National Simp Day timeline. In 1903, the slang, the noun simp, appears in the New Partridge Dictionary of Slang. 1903. That's a year before man takes to the sky. In 1923, the Roaring Twenties, the Big Apple, the term appears in the New York Times. 1923, the New York Times, already using the word simp. 2020, 100 years later, new definitions. Men's Health describes the use of the term as pretty messed up. Wow. And also in 2020, taking action. In December, Twitch announced it would take action against accounts of streamers using the word simp. Wow. So much for freedom of speech. We need our social media to take. What do simps do? The term is slang word for defining individuals who are overly sympathetic to a person. What does simp mean for a man? The term is used for men who appear to be extra caring so they can sleep with a girl. What is simping over a girl? The term defines someone who is crushing on a girl. How to observe National Simp Day. Post about the day. Use your social media platforms to post about the day and why it needs to be celebrated every year. Make sure you post links that describe why being a simp is completely okay. Discuss its meaning. A lot of people are unaware of the negative connotations of the word and need to be told why. Discuss the meaning of the word in an article, post, or flyer. A flyer. Anybody have that simp flyer laying around? I'm gonna go put it in the windows on the cars. What's that called? Windshield wipers. We put the flyers in the windshield wipers. Host a webinar to increase awareness of the day and the negative meaning behind the word today. Host a webinar on your social media. This way you'll also be able to answer queries. I understand if it's a bad term, maybe we shouldn't. It's like saying, oh, we need to have a day to discuss the N-word. Maybe we should, don't forget to put out your flyers. Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's have a parade. Exactly, Scotty. Exactly. Speaking of, oh, I'm sorry, Scotty. That was just too easy. I don't mean anything by it. Anyway. Yeah, National Simp Day. What else we got? Opium Suppression Day. Oof. Opium Suppression Movement Day. It's never too late to quit smoking. Throw out your cigarettes and start afresh. The fuck does that have to do with opium suppression? Repeat Day. Repeating can be a wonderful thing, especially when it involves an activity we love. Repeat Day. Repeating can be a wonderful thing, especially when son of a bitch. The Yang de Pertuan Aghan's birthday. Dive into the history of Malaysian royalty, the only one of its kind in the world. He looks suspect. Oi, it's Western Australia Day, originally called Foundation Day. It has since been renamed to include all Western Australians. Oi. It's World Bicycle Day. Riding a bicycle without training wheels was the first challenging physical activity we mastered. And it's World Cider Day. Gather your friends, pour a few pints, and enjoy the familiar crispness of delicious cider. Okay. Those are the days of today. Let's see. What do we got? Mike Richards of the Karogan Power Plant, orphans on hamster wheels. Yeah, that would be fun. And Scotty showed up. Welcome, Scotty. Says jaw flaw reduced. Hit the like and share. Thank you, Scotty. I am an over-energized child. Darth Maul says everything is going electric, so we better make our kids play. Pay for it now. Mush. Nephew O'Prey, mush. Scotty says, I just punched a mosquito. Dingoes, yeah. 47 Yorktown says, say no to Ozzy O'Prey. Beware dingoes bearing gifts. Beware Romulans bearing gifts. Mike Richards. Scotty says, we are the Sump Sons. Scotty says, I simp for Birdo Prey 5. Hakeem says, being that I use simp as an insult, I hope it is harmful to their feelings. Scotty says, let's have a parade. Lol, says Hakeem. Darth Maul says, Simperella coming to a theater near you. Scotty yells, Hakeem. Says, hey, back to Scotty. Effing rappers. Effing rappers, says Scotty. Symphonic and all boy band, says Darth Maul. Arabic says, hey to Scotty. Darth Maul says, darn time travelers contaminated the 1920s. Yeah. Scotty says, my phone battery is about to explode. Too much awesome. I'm going to microwave it for 37 seconds. Good luck, Scotty. Mike Richards says, never simp on a pimp with a limp. Arabic Sanders says, excuse me, completely okay. Simp is an insult as far as I'm concerned. Well, they say it's okay to talk about on Simp Day. Arabic Sanders is a good one to Mike Richards. Mike Richards says, thanks. The Random Menace says, quoting Dr. Alzheimer, repeating is fun. Quoting Dr. Alzheimer, repeating is fun. Yeah, I couldn't let that one go. Okay. Let's go. Moving on to, let's do a quick look. Let's do a quick look at the news. Anything going on? The origins. Jury selection. Let's see. China's space plane releases another mystery object into orbit. Leonard Nimoy's son opens up on father's feud with William Shatner. I don't think. They don't look like a people having a feud. Star Trek icons Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner fell out before Nimoy's death in 2015. Star Trek icon legend, a Star Trek icon, Leonard Nimoy's son, knows what made him stop talking to his co-host, William Shatner, but won't disclose the ordeal. I know why, said Adam Nimoy, who penned The Most Human, Reconciling with My Father, Leonard Nimoy. And he said he'd like to let sleeping dogs lie in an interview with Page Six. It's unfortunate, it's sad. He commented on the pair's broken friendship, noting that there was a period, a period of time where they were really beautifully together. He shared how he and his sister Julie were surprised when Leonard called Shatner his best friend in his memoir, as they often heard their father talk about his spats with his fictional captain. Julie and I were scratching our heads like, you've knocked heads with Bill all your professional life, he said. And now they had some reconciliation, and that was beautiful, but they just couldn't sustain it. And that's unfortunate, he added. The Boston legal actor, for his part, claimed that his memoir, Leonard, My 50-Year Friendship with a Remarkable Man, and Their Differences, were due to him trying to include Leonard in a Star Trek documentary without his permission. In the same book, he also revealed the duo were not on speaking terms in the last 5 years of his co-star's life. Leonard passed away in 2015, with Shatner grieving him, saying, I love Leonard as my dearest brother. When he died, part of me died. Nothing else. No. No, something interesting. So again, Leonard Nimoy's son claims to know why, but isn't going to tell anybody. I wonder if Terry Farrell knows, since she was married. She was married to Leonard Nimoy's son. Mima and Dale's fate after young Sheldon's ending was already hinted at in Big Bang Theory. Russia warns U.S. against fatal miscalculation in Ukraine. Blah. Jennifer Lopez, she's still a thing. And Ben Affleck kiss amid divorce speculation. AMD's latest Ryzen chips ready for Copilot Plus with AI power. Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. says he's surprisingly open to MCU return as Tony Stark. Qualcomm spoofs old I'm a Mac ads to promote Snapdragon X-powered PC. That's pretty cool. Those were good commercials. I always thought the PC guy was better than the fucking half a hippie slacker, the Mac. You remember those commercials? Remember the I'm a Mac, I'm a PC ads that Apple used to run in the late 2000s? They were so successful, they have their own Wikipedia page. Several revivals have tried to imitate them, going as far as hiring Justin Long, the I'm a Mac guy. Qualcomm did as well with a cheeky clip at the end of Computex keynote, which introduced the first Copilot Plus PCs, which use a Snapdragon X Elite or Plus chip. In the clip, Justin Long is still using a MacBook and is still wearing casual clothing, but is now being pestered with constant notifications. Too frequent notifications are one of those nuisances that the Copilot AI can handle, either by muting them while you're busy or by responding for you when prompted with a voice command. Here is the clip near the end of the keynote. And of course, they give you the very beginning. And they don't tell you at all where it is during this. Oh, okay, well, I guess it is time for Dear Bob. It is time for Dear Bob. Okay. Hmm. We're at Dear Bob. Dear Bob, there's a 6-episode miniseries you should, I assume it's check out. Yeah, you should check out, called Eric. It's about a boy that runs away his toxic parents and gets lost in Manhattan. Benedict Cumberbatch plays his dad, and for me, it's one of his best roles. One bad thing about this series is that the majority of the men are gay, abusive, and or on drugs. But if you can watch years worth of STD, then these 6 episodes will be a breeze. I really don't think I'm all that interested in a mini series about a boy who runs away, but maybe I will look up the trailer, see if it's actually worth watching or not. It's hard to tell these days. Schwario, Qapla Schwario. Says bird, Qapla bird. Hope you and the family are doing well today. Hope you're doing well, Schwario. What was that called? Called Eric. I'll check out the trailer. Dear Bob, Doomcock versus Nerdrotic in a no-holds-barred cage match. Who wins? Oof. I have no idea how old Doomcock is. Like, I'm assuming he is older than me. But I really I can't confirm that. In fact, he very well might be the same age as Gary. Gary seems like he's physically in shape, but I don't know. I saw Doomcock next to Jeremy. Okay, right? That was the one person Doomcock ever met in person was Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. Now Doomcock was still in uniform or covered up, he still had a mask on. And there was no real skin visible, but you could tell he was, I think Doomcock had a few pounds on Jeremy. But Jeremy, I mean, he's a very fit person as well.
I sent Eddie. I needed his email.
So I honestly, that would be a real tough one. That would be a real tough one. I guess I guess I'd go on. I'd hate to say it, but I'd put my money on Nerdrotic because he's been to prison. He's been to prison, and I think he could probably. I think he would probably win. It'd probably be dirty. It would probably be a dirty win, but he would win. I think he would. And let's face it, if it's no rules, if it's really no rules, I think Gary wins. If you had to follow rules, then I think Doomcock would probably win, assuming that there was some sort of person there to stop the fight if it goes off the rails or something. Stanley says, any idea of how old Doomcock is? No, I really don't have an idea. He's got to be. I assume he's got to be older than me. But Gary is. I think he's probably about the same age. I think he's probably about the same age. I really doubt he's younger. Yeah, Doomcock has a helmet that gives him extra protection. The Random Menace's Dark Matter on Apple TV is really good sci-fi. Cool, Random Menace. I think I turned off Apple TV for now. Once For All Mankind comes back, I'll watch Dark Matter. Stanley says Nerdrotic is mid-late 50s, but I think I heard Doomcock mention on a live stream that his father was in World War II or in a war. Well, if his father was in World War II, then Doomcock would be closer to Dad O'Pre's age and Mom O'Pre's age. I don't think he's that old. But his father could have been in Korea or Vietnam. He could be any age. Um, I don't think he's late 60s. I think he's probably mid to late 50s. Mike Richards says if both survive the lurper, combat will continue with the Awun. Stanley says also check out Severance. Great Apple TV show. And Stanley says, yeah, my grandfather was World War II, and my dad is 70. Yeah. So we'll go ahead and giving this one, Doomcock, I love you. I do. But in a fight, I think Gary would go dirty. And go dirty quick. Gary, I like you too. It's not an insult. You've been to prison. I got to assume you learned some stuff. Dear Bob, in celebration of Pride Month, here's a list of articles where Star Trek is doing its part in LGBTQAAIP plus community celebration. Screen Rant, Star Trek celebrates Pride, tribute, character, review. Star Trek celebrations Pride is a wonderful tribute to the franchise's LGBTQIA plus characters. Why only one T? Oh no. What the fuck? Who the fuck is this? Why isn't Stamets with his who the hell is that? Rafi and Seven. Star Trek celebrations, Pride celebrates diversity with news stories by top talent in the Star Trek franchise. The anthology honors a tradition of positive representation and reflects the evolution of the LGBTQIA plus characters in Star Trek. Warning contains spoilers for Star Trek celebrations Pride. Don't worry, you can't spoil nonsense. Ready when you are. Oh, is that Sulu? Sulu's not gay. Star Trek paved the way for a positive representation on television. Star Trek showed persons of color in positions of power. Sulu and Uhura. And Chekhov? Chekhov is a person of color? Russians? Russians get a color now? Okay. Star Trek initially dropped the ball on queer representation. No, they didn't. They had Wesley. He was treated just like a normal boy. It's bullshit. He treated Wesley Crusher just like he was not gay. Oh my God, I never realized. They were so ahead of the curve. Dear Ba, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Answer, LDG hatched out of an egg. LDG. That's honestly, the truth is the egg came first. The egg always came first. And so how do you know? Well, however it was born from an egg. The first chicken to lay an egg was born from a chicken egg. Had to be. Couldn't come any other way. So the egg came first. Dear Bob, I hope you liked my interview on the decon chamber. My question for you is, as a hate-filled MAGA straight white man, how disgusted were you about the kiss and rejoin? Was it the episode that made you hate DS9? How happy were you to see my character get killed off? Terry Farrell. Hey, Terry, I loved your kiss, and I celebrate it to this very day. So, congrats. Next time, hopefully, you'll get the Emmy. Let's see. Miss Londell says Vietnam vets are in their 70s. I think Doomcock is no older than 50. The Random Menace says Apple TV has some good stuff. Arabic Saunders says stop simping for Apple to the Random Menace. Arabic says, how are any of these asking for advice? I don't think people understand what Dear Bob is meant for. You know, that's true. A lot of people don't ask for advice anymore. Hakeem says, are they adding more letters to their alphabet? JP says, yay, acknowledging the whiteness of Chekhov. The Random Menace says, Eric Sonder, I am really not laughing. I have just because iCloud and I have the iPhone and because the wife bought it for me and I could not care less about Android or iOS differences. It's just a phone. Arabic Sonder says, I know, I'm just kidding because it's Simp Day. Captain Phantom Nerd says, screw queer representation. Treat all people as equal, period. Arabic Sonder says, but still, Stan Lee says, Vertebrae 5, a fertilized egg. Obviously, it had to be fertilized to be born. Stanley says, nah, has to be the chicken. Arabic Sonder says, nah, was born from a dinosaur egg. Stanley says, the egg without a rooster is just breakfast. Miss Londell says, actually, the dinosaur came first since the chickens are birds. Dinosaurs evolved into birds. Hakeem says, chicken make eggs. Eggs don't make chickens. Arabic Sonder says, well, actually, you big nerd, Miss Londell. But yes, I would agree with you. The Random Menace says, Arabic Sonder did not get the reference. Lol. My excuse is that it's past midnight and my brain is shutting down. Get to rest when you can. Make sure Olivia is in bed first. Vixana says, well, hope you and the fam are doing well. And Lowell, a good one to Stanley. Dear Bob, I wanted you to know that the urine therapy you recommended has been working very well. I am feeling more energized and less sickly every day. An 8-ounce glass of my own pee in the morning, and I'm living the good life. Thank you for the advice. I owe you one. LDG. I told you not to talk about that here. Dear Joseph, Vinnie Corsetti here. I was friends with your father's brother back in the day when we ran a business together. Just wondering if you may have seen some gold bars laying around. I was told that you might know something about it and that you were a good guy willing to help out a family friend. If you know what's good for you, I would respond. Vinny. Vinny, if you came here and saw some gold bars laying around, you could certainly keep. But I would suspect you would look around, cry, and bring a gold bar to me. Dear Bob, and this will be our final Dear Bob. Your favorite Star Trek, your favorite Trek star is here, George Takei. I appreciate all of your nice cards and letters you have written, letting me know that I am your favorite actor ever. And thank you for sending me that nice Pride Month gift. You are so thoughtful and deserving of it. Oh my. Sending love back to you, and I hope to see you on the Star Trek cruise next year, as I'm so excited to meet you. George. Georgie? Georgie. Wow. Okay. Thanks, George Takei, but I think something got messed up in the mail. That's wasn't from me. Wasn't from me. But you know, I don't hate you, George. I think your priorities are a little messed. But you were a good actor, and I hope one day you understand. I hope one day you rethink. Well, whatever. You'll figure it out. Okay. And one final, Dear Bob. No, this will be the final, Dear Bob. Indeed it will. Indeed it will. With that, all Qapla, all. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, you know what? If you would subscribe, check if you're subscribed, like, share, all that stuff helps. And I never ask. I forget to ask. Today I remembered. Okay, Qapla all. Bird out.